Fantastic. Well, happy Monday. It's our first full week of 2026 that's up ahead of us. And this is a great opportunity for us to continue to lay down the foundation for our healthy habits. And that's the way that I want you guys to approach the entire month of January. And for some of us, that might feel like a very overwhelming thing to think about, dedicating an entire month to potentially not seeing or experiencing any type of result other than establishing the foundation for you to build on top of with these healthy habits. Because a lot of us have differing, varying goals, right? Some of us want to lose weight, which is absolutely fine, which is wonderful. Some people want to run a race. They want specific numbers in terms of weights that they're trying to lift. And these are all great goals. Goals, they don't have any, you know, um, moral right or wrong goals. That's not what it's about. It's about whatever is important to you, whatever you place personal value on, that has importance and enough reason for you to go after. And if that's where you're at, the healthy habits can 100% get you there. But like I've said before on our last call, not one habit stands alone as like the end all be all in terms of the one thing that you have to do that's going to get you to your goals. It has to be almost like a symphony of things that get you to that place, and they all have to kind of work in harmony because we all do it on any given day anyways, right? We're all going to drink some water, we're all going to move our bodies, we're all going to eat some food. We're all going to need a second to take a break from whatever it is we do to just kind of like clear our head, go out for a walk, meditate, or, write something down to just offload it off of our mind to just kind of like de-stress. We all have those touch points throughout the day. It's just a matter of, are we consciously making an effort to do it or not? So that's where we're at. Hey, Karen. Karen's in stealth mode today, listening on your break at her work desk. Nice. Awesome. Great use of time. So I just want to start this session off. So this is officially our first coaching call, and we're going to have these on a monthly basis. And we want to have them at the start of our month, start of our week, so that it sets us up for not only personal goals, accountability goals, but just some direction for the month. So if you have any questions, maybe since the start of January, or maybe like towards the end of last month, if you ran into any challenges specifically to you and your goals in terms of establishing healthy habits, feel free to ask. And I want to have an opportunity to personally coach you. And if anyone else would like to jump in and share their perspective or advice, it would be awesome too. So this is kind of like an open conversation, and you guys can interject and add your 2 cents anytime you want. Or if you're not able to unmute yourself, you can absolutely drop it in the chat and we'll see it. Any questions at all? If not, we have some prep stuff. Go ahead, Jeanette.
I just have a, I was thinking this morning, so as you know, I was in Oregon for 6 days. I didn't really I didn't bring like any weights and I didn't go to any gyms or anything. So I've been kind of piecemealing December weeks since I got back. And with January, the week starting that I printed,
Look at
I
you.
was print. Um, I yesterday I did the like finisher part of the deadlift of week 5 of December. And so my question, I guess, is because my lower back is still kind of taxed from the back squats of this week and the deadlifts, is it recommended or an issue to start at a different part of this week? Like maybe start with the bench workout or start with the like more, cardio based workout to just let my back be able to recover because I feel like if I went into the back squat workout of week 1 with my lower back being sore, that I wouldn't be able to achieve the kind of weight if I just let it rest for another, like if I swapped them. Do you think that's generally a good idea to make sure that you know?
Very good question. Very good question. And I love your approach because you're not just thinking about like in the moment, you're considering the last couple weeks even leading up to where you're at right now and
Yeah.
kind of the fatigue or the muscle soreness that tax feeling that you might be having.
Mhm.
And you realize that it's not just because something you did yesterday or even the day before. You know, you're considering like the whole backlog of days leading up to it,
Yeah.
which is great. And that's the way we need to think. We need to think more macro level about anything that we might be experiencing on a day-to-day basis, but more specifically to answer your question, I would 100% guide you to using either the cardio session or to do any other part of any day any workout that you feel is like the right fit for you. And for you, it might even be just like 10 or 15 minutes of doing some of the warm-ups. And that's totally fine too. The thing
Yeah.
we want to avoid at all costs is injury. Because from personal experience, if you're injured, if I'm injured, I'm gonna be laid out for a couple days. And that just is gonna make me crawl in my skin. It's just gonna make me so frustrated. And the last time I experienced this was in September of last year. Yeah, September 25. I had just finished like 12 weeks of 531, which is Jim Wendler's strength progression workout, which is actually where I've adapted our 864 progression that we're following right now, but erring on the side even more of safety because of the higher volume. Anyway, so I was testing my deadlift and I wasn't wearing a belt, not that you have to, but I wasn't wearing a belt in my warm-up set, so I was like, nah, I'm not gonna wear it for my later sets because it's kind of like not in the flow of my lifting right now, which was a bad choice. And then I ended up um, hurting my back. And then immediately I dropped to the floor. The girls were at the swimming pool and I could barely get in my car and I had to like hobble through to like, Allie's like, what happened? And I'm like, I'm so sorry. She's like, dude, I need help with the girls. Like, what did you do? So we want to avoid injury at all costs. And it can start with fatigue and then just like little chronic things that or acute things that we might be experiencing, and that could just open up a bunch of opportunity to really not have a good time. So yes, let's avoid that at all costs. And to answer your question, choose the thing that's going to work for you. When the workouts are listed as workouts one, two, three, four, and five, it's not the intention for them to be done in that sequence necessarily. When I program, I think about it and like that. I think about from like Monday to Sunday. But again, it's not like dedicated to a day. So if workout one for you isn't until tomorrow, when you're feeling better, or maybe you're still wanting to, you had your eyes sight on this one workout from a previous week, that's okay. That's okay. You're not going to like miss the train necessarily because you need to wait a couple days or you want to do a different workout. You can jump in whenever you feel comfortable. And I know for some people that's still like I don't feel good about that. It can cause some uneasiness because this is
Mhm.
like a program, and I do
Yeah.
program like thinking about weeks at a time, not in an entire month at a time because things can change. But I think on a weekly cadence, that frequency is enough for us to make any adjustments and pivots in real time, depending on the needs, overall needs of our group. But in my mind, with the intention of getting strong, let's avoid injury and do the thing that you enjoy and do it safely.
Yeah. That's where I mean, I get so hung up on following following the rules, following the
Sure.
structure, like even
Yep.
to the point where like for example, yesterday I went to Trader Joe's to shop for this like slow cooker meal that I wanted to try. And the recipe called for bow tie pasta. And I'm like, recipes I follow, right? And I'm with my middle child, Ava, and I'm like, okay, where's the bow tie pasta? And Ava's like, you should get one of these other pastas because it helps the cheese, like the cheese. I'm like, she's like, the cheese will stick better to this other kind of pasta. I'm like, okay, Gordon Ramsay, like, let me,
Wow.
and I really wanted to just get the bow tie pasta because the recipe specifically said bow tie pasta. And Ava's like, no, maybe we should get this. Like she either wanted to get penne or one of the other like ones that have the, divots and stuff, because she said it's going to stick better in the crevices of the, I'm like, what the hell? And so as difficult as like this might sound so like weird to people, but it was difficult for me
Hmm.
to not get the bow tie pasta. And I got the one that she picked out, like fine, and it worked fine. I don't know the difference because this is the first time I've ever tried it, but that was like kind of the metaphor as you were talking that made me think about what a rule follower I am. And so even though like I have over the weeks that you've been publishing these workouts, I have shifted things around a little bit, but for some reason I still have this anxiety around I want to follow it as it says. And I
Hmm.
think that comes from like, CrossFit, same thing. I would stress my body and use higher weights and end up hurting myself in CrossFit a lot because I wanted to follow what it said, right?
Sure.
And so I'm kind of unlearning that behavior around just do what feels good in your
Yeah.
body. And it's, you're not going to like lose something because
Yeah.
you do a back squat workout on Thursday instead of Tuesday. Like, so, but there's my little metaphor with the pasta. Like, you don't have to get the bow tie pasta. You can get a different one.
I love that. And did you end up getting a different pasta?
I did. Yeah. Yeah.
There you
I
go. And I'm
did.
sure it
She
tasted just as
insisted.
good.
It was fine. Yeah, she loved it. It was a great
Good.
recipe. It looked terrible visually, but it tasted really good. So it's
No,
okay.
that's awesome. I wrote this down while you were talking, but sometimes we equate like certainty to success, and unless we are certain about the outcome, then it's not going to be a win for us.
Yeah.
And
The
I suffer.
anxiety of the unknown, right?
Yes.
Unknown is so scary and
It's
and
Mhm.
anxiety wants to control because if you can control the outcome, then you can feel better. But that's just a, never-ending loop.
Very well said. Very well said. It's a vicious cycle that a lot of us get caught up in, and we may still have that experience even with the healthy habits. But here's the way that I want you to think about it. Success for you, and by you, I mean like us collectively as a group, success is gonna largely be dependent on how much control you are in. That's what the habits do. They give you a sense of control because every single day you have at least five touch points for you to demonstrate, and you're seeing it through your own eyes, right? So that's like 100% um, you are able to confirm that and believe it because you're seeing it through your eyes. You made that hard choice of like, okay, before I grab another soda, let me just take a couple sips of water. Or I know this email needs to get sent out today, but right now I need to get outside for a walk. Or I really want to catch up on the show or whatever. I want to, whatever it is, but let me just do 30 minutes of half of the workout that's for today. Let me just get the main lift in. Or let me just sit on the bike for 20 minutes or 10 minutes even. When you are demonstrating for yourself that level of control 5 times a day for an entire week and then an entire month and an entire half of the year and an entire 365 days of the year. You know what I mean? Like that level of trust, self-trust starts to compound, and then you just get so much more confident with your ability to determine for yourself what success looks like on a micro level, on a daily basis, and when you expand out and see things from a higher level on that macro level. You get to determine success. And that again, like tying that sense of winning and success to certainty, you're in control of that. That's what I want you to experience, that you are the one that determines what is certain and what is not. And you can choose to focus on the things that you'll never have control over, or you can make the hard decision of just being like, I don't know what the outcome necessarily is going to be in the long run, but let me try getting outside for a walk. Let me try drinking a little bit more water. Let me make some effort in fueling my body in the types of ways that I know is going to be good for me right now. And when you can demonstrate that for yourself and provide that evidence, James Clear in his book Atomic Habits, he that's what he says. Every action that we take is a vote for the person that we want to become. Every action we take is a vote for the person you want to become. I think about it like putting money in a piggy bank. You know when the piggy bank's full. You like there's no denying it. You'll pick it up and you're like, this thing is heavy and I can't fit another penny in there. It is full. And that's what you're trying to do every day is just trying to make these small little deposits into your confidence, into your ability to control your outcomes by showing up for the habits every single day. And it doesn't have to be exactly half your body weight in pounds and drinking that much in ounces of water. It doesn't exactly have to be that. It can just be your conscious decision to drink water in that moment. And whether you acknowledge that consciously or subconsciously, like you're affirming what it is you already believe, that you're somebody that's worthy of living a healthy life and that you're somebody that's in control and not letting life happen at you, but doing your best to control those health levers on any given day. That's extremely important to experience every day.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And that's what it's about. Whether, sorry, I just want to get to these comments real quick. So, Karen is saying, I was going to do workouts one, two, and four on Tuesday through Thursday this week, and then three and five Saturday and Sunday this weekend. So I'm not doing deadlifts and squats back to back. Yes, try to avoid that if you can. Uh, Compound movements, specifically with the lower body, with the pulling and the squatting, you want to avoid doing those back to back because if you truly are pushing that AMRAP set, um, you probably won't be in the most optimal recovered kind of situation for the other lift. Yeah. Courtney, my perfectionism makes consistency so hard. Yes, plus ADHD. Yes. And so I appreciate you sharing that, Courtney, because so many of us have these other invisible variables that we have to consider and what is realistic for us. And with everything, with the way that we consume information now, it's so easy to compare ourselves to other people and other outcomes and feeling lesser than if we're not where we are, if we're not where we see other people. But if there's any kind of suggestion I can make for you, and it's something I have to keep front of mind for myself too, being a consumer of content and trying to think, how can I learn from content as well as consume it enough so that I feel motivated or maybe like I can learn something tactical. You just have to use what applies for your situation. And sometimes that gets hard to do in the moment when we're doom scrolling or whatever it is. But just like try to put those breaks, try to put in those like little pauses into the content that you consume or and I only mentioned that specifically for you, Courtney, because of what you shared in your stories. And that takes a lot of courage and vulnerability to put it out there, but we all suffer from that. 100%. We all do. So just put those breaks in there, put those like safety um, bumpers for yourself, and that could be really helpful in terms of, hey, let's not let our perfectionism take over because maybe we are comparing it to someone else's results or something flashy and beautiful that we might be seeing aesthetically on social media or online. Just try to protect ourselves from that. What's up, Emily? Thanks for joining us. Awesome. Any other questions? Yeah, we're just talking about Emily. For our first coaching call, feel free to ask any questions. Jeanette had a really good question about, the last couple of weeks she's been traveling kind of out of her normal routine. So, what would be the best way to approach this week's programming? And 100% you can pick and choose. You can just do the cardio session if you just want to get moving. You can take a rest day altogether if you needed to. But those workouts aren't it's like it has to be done this way or it's not going to give you the best results. We're trying to we're trying to give ourselves permission to unlearn some of those that approach, especially to our fitness. Yeah, more flexibility, more control is what we're going after. Yeah. I know I mentioned this at the beginning, Courtney. Yes, I'm wanting to add in more running. Great, but feel overwhelmed with how to do that. I've decided to just focus on getting consistent again. Beautiful with moving. with moving daily, then working on adding something else in. That's good. Yeah. And this is something I got flack for um previously, but they're like, dude, sometimes you ask too many questions and you just need to give them the thing. And I'm like, I can appreciate that. I can appreciate that, but I honestly feel it's my job to do that. I have to ask you those questions as a coach because ultimately you're the one that's steering the ship. And unless you know where you're going, there's a quote that says like if you don't know the destination, anywhere becomes the destination. Something like that. I probably butchered that. But what I'm what I'm saying is you have to give yourself some direction for any of your steps that you take forward, whatever point you are in that process has real meaning so that you can keep going and eventually get to the goal. If you don't have any, if I don't do my job to ask you questions like, what is the goal? Like, what is your priority? The one thing that you want to accomplish, then it's going to be hard for you to really know what step forward to take. So, like for you, Courtney, um, what would be that priority for you right now? And you could type it, you could talk it, you could.
Yeah, my printer stopped for a minute. So I think what's hard is my goal, I want to run a half marathon this year. Like that's
Great.
my overall goal.
Love
But
that.
I'm also coming off of a season of not being super consistent. So
Mhm.
I feel kind of like all over the place because I want to also lift and I want to also so it feels a little overwhelming. So I don't know. I think that my goal for my half marathon is really like later in the year, like maybe the fall.
Yeah.
So I think for me, and I'm still trying to figure this out, but I think that for me, I'm trying to use the programming because I think it's amazing and I want to like start there and then maybe like at some point maybe back off of part of the programming and add in some running, but I'm just trying to figure out what that's supposed to look like and see supposed to like what does
Mm.
that look like? What should that look like? But anyway, I just realized that Karen had asked a question earlier and I feel bad because I might have interrupted that. But anyway,
Oh, no, yeah.
so that's where I am. But yeah.
Okay. So let's think about that for a second. Let me answer your question, or let me give you my coaching thoughts on it. And thank you for mentioning Karen's question. Karen, we'll get to your question right after. So consistency, and I think I've asked you this before, is like to define what consistency means, because the other thing that I had a I had a hard time with just like blanket statements like consistency, like specifically consistency is key. Like I understand what that means. I understand. I think we all know the mechanism of consistency, right? Doing things routinely so that it becomes automatic. I think we all understand that. But I think it's even more important to understand the the practical application of it in relation to a goal. Consistent, you can be consistent with bad things. You can be consistent with bad things. So consistency is a very neutral word. It is a noun, but it's very neutral and it just depends on its application. So if you have the goal of later in the year completing a half marathon, and needing to find, and you're coming out of a season of being inconsistent, then I would tie your overall goal of building that consistency to completing that half marathon. And then now you can visualize what decisions need to be made as as far as your fitness programming goes to better align and assist that outcome.
That's really helpful. And I think for me, I think the hard part about that is it obviously like the programming by itself would be too much to then add in running. So then
Yeah.
what? So like I've been thinking, should I like not do the Metcons and just focus on the lifts and the accessories
Mhm.
and the like that piece? I mean, does
Mhm.
that make the most sense really if you're adding in running?
So I would reverse engineer from the date that you want to run your half marathon, and that could even push you to commit. to signing up for like a specific race on a specific
Mhm.
day, and then work backwards, reverse engineer it. So what is if you do research, what is like the minimum you would have to really focus on weekly miles to prepare
Mhm.
yourself to safely complete a half marathon by that date? So let's
Mhm.
just say, I don't know, I'm not experiencing this,
Mhm.
but let's just say it's 16 weeks out. You need 4 months minimum of training with progressive, increasing mileage week by
Mhm.
week, 16 weeks out. Let's just say that's like based
Yeah.
on the research that you find. Okay,
Mhm.
great. So then 4 months out from your race date, you're going to have to really prioritize that mileage. So then at that point forward, now the training is going to take a back seat, and
Mhm.
your ramping up of mileage will definitely need to be there because safety, right? You want to safely complete that half marathon. If that's the goal, then that takes the top seat. And then you
Mhm.
can look at the training, your other um, lifts and assistance work and finishers, even if you have the energy or time for it, to support that effort. But that's the only role that that type of training has in your life at the moment for the foreseeable future until you complete that race. Does that
Yeah.
make sense? So,
Yeah, it does. And I think like what's hard is I really love the programming, so but I also like really want to run the half. So I'm
yeah,
like trying to
yeah.
figure out how to like make it all work. But yeah, I think if I just like maybe set a date and then I can kind of like plan a little bit better. I think you're right.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
And sorry, you just said something I immediately lost my track of mind. You were talking, sorry, can you say that again?
That I really love the programming. So like I want to be able to fit it all, but I
Mhm.
obviously can't do that.
Oh,
But I
yeah.
think you're right, like choosing a date and then
Yeah.
kind of planning kind of an overall yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever ran a half marathon?
I have not. The
Okay.
furthest I've run is a 4 mile.
That's amazing. Okay. So this is just my personal take. I don't think it's much, or let me rephrase it. I think it would be incredible for you to dedicate this year to completing a half marathon. And I know for some of us, you're like, man, an entire year? Yeah, because after you complete that goal, you can always say that you completed a half marathon. And if your strength is like not where it's at by the
Mhm.
end of the marathon, like that's just the cost to play. You know what I mean? Like that's
Yeah.
just what it's gonna take. And that's okay. Because I can also guarantee your strength numbers are not gonna be that far off. Like I get trapped in that way of thinking as well. If I'm not consistent with my lifting, I'm like, oh man, my legs are shrinking, or like I'm not gonna be able to lift this much weight anymore. But sure enough, after 3 weeks of consistently lifting, I'm like tw 20, 30 pounds off from like my all-time strongest. So I'm like, what did I
Yeah.
actually lose? Like I didn't lose much. You
Yeah,
know what I
Jeanette
mean?
mentioned doing the main lift and then
Hmm.
focus the rest on running. And that's kind of where I was leaning, and then
Yeah,
maybe doing some accessory work like
totally.
as I'm feeling it. So that's kind of where I was leaning, and definitely more like a lot of the mobility stuff because I really need to work on that as well. So I was
Mm-hmm.
thinking mobility, strength, and then accessories as I feel like it, but then focus on the running. So that's really helpful that you have run half marathons before because I have
There you
not
go.
done that. So
Slowly,
that's
just
really
very
helpful.
slowly.
Do what?
I am not a runner. I just want to emphasize my
Oh well,
running
you are a
slow.
runner. You ran
Yeah,
3 half
Slow.
marathons.
I
that's
feel
crazy.
like I lagged so hard. But um I definitely I will the surprising thing, um, take care of your feet.
Mhm.
My poor toe, the very last half I ran was in October of 22, and my right big toe, I would say only just recently recovered in the last
Mm.
maybe 3 to 6 months. I wasn't able to like lunge on it, put weight on it. I always had to wear shoes ever since that half. I don't know what it was about that particular half. But like make sure you have good shoes, take care of your
Mhm.
feet. Um, because yeah, I don't know, my toe. I mean, you'd be surprised the things that one toe can,
No,
can
I
screw
know.
can screw
Wow.
up. I was like, what is
No,
up
I
with
know.
my
Yeah. I
Wow.
lost a
body?
toenail once and it like, yeah,
Yeah.
it took me
Oh,
out
yeah.
a long
I
time. Yeah. No, yeah. I think
yeah.
yeah, it's super important.
I lost it. I did that. But I feel just like listening to what you're saying. I hope I'm not overstepping, Daniel, but like doing Daniel's programming these last several months with building back the strength that I was lacking from the programming I usually do. Um, I noticed like my cardio is better. I can row more effectively. I feel stronger when I row. I haven't tried to run because I retired that in 2022, but um I feel like that strength gives you foundation for your running, for anything else. Like it's just there's so many benefits to being strong. And so my that's why my idea was like maybe you could just keep the main lift, but like dump everything else, right? Like whatever you need to do. Like the training that I followed for half was the I can't think of it now. It's a really popular one. Let
Was it
me Google
Hal
it.
Higdon or
Yes, that one.
yeah.
I
Okay.
followed that one.
Oh,
And it was really effective. I think my halftime was like probably around 2.5 hours for like all three
wow.
of them because like I said, I'm in the middle range of running. But Hal Higdon's programming, really, really effective. I would highly recommend that. So,
Awesome. Thank y'all so much. I appreciate it.
Can you drop that in the chat, Jeanette? I
yeah.
didn't catch what it was, the program, but I'd love to check it out as well. Do we all run a half marathon together?
Oh, dude.
Your poor toe. Jeanette's like,
Oh,
dude, I only got
my toe just barely came back. Like I still
crazy.
can't fully put weight on it,
Oh,
but it's much better. Like I can lunge without shoes on without preemptively cringing.
oh,
So that's
that's
that's a,
crazy.
that that's good.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. No, I appreciate you sharing your personal experience with that because it's super helpful. I want to make sure I answer Karen's question about the weights on the accessory work. Good question. What level of effort with weight are we looking at? How many reps in the tank left on things like sumo deadlift? Err on the side of light so that you're moving with precision, like near perfect form. Whatever weight allows you to do that, beautiful. And I can't give you like an exact percentage or, like comparable to like your main lift. I would just say err on the side of light, but still challenging you to maintain that like near perfect form. And so that you can complete the work uh within a reasonable amount of time. Like if the assistance work is taking you 30 minutes, like let you might be going a little too heavy. Let's just like get through it. Let's just do it just to get the reps in and just to get that support work done. Uh, Specifically, whenever I program the assistance work, I'm thinking about unilateral work. So that's why it's typically done with dumbbells because I want to make sure that we do address the strength balance between left and right sides. Because one of the principles I use, and I got this from a buddy of mine, is that let's say, for example, your best back squat ever is 200 pounds, but then you find out that your right leg is doing 75% of the work. That's bonkers, right? So then if you just dedicated a little bit of work to strengthening your left leg, imagine how much stronger and safer you would feel at those heavier loads, right? So that's just kind of the principle I'm thinking about with the assistance work is making sure that we address that strength balance between left and right sides and also just getting the reps in so that we start to make that neurological connection with just really focusing on one side at a time. All right. Any other questions on my big toes are surprisingly important. Good thing we have two of them. Jeanette, that
Seriously.
that other toe's been carrying the team this whole time, huh?
The, my left toe, which is I
Go
guess
left toe.
I guess it's, karma for my right side because I am one of those people where I can clearly tell that my right side is doing the bulk of the
Oh,
work on main lifts, on
yeah.
anything,
Yeah.
right? Righty is like been there and lefty's like, and so the left
That's so
toe
funny.
is like, it's my time to shine. Because yeah, my right side is very, very, very dominant compared to my pathetic
Are
left
you
side.
left-handed or right-handed?
I am right-handed.
Right-handed and right side is dominant. Interesting. I'm left side dominant, so whenever I've injured my back or like I banged up my knee, it's always been my left side. Always.
Oh,
Always, always.
interesting.
Yeah, really, really interesting.
Yeah, I
Really
don't know.
interesting.
My right side is like if I like when I do snatches,
Mm,
like dumbbell snatches, I could probably easily do 30, maybe 35 pound on my right side.
mm.
My left side struggles still with 25. So
Oh,
like there's it's
interesting.
just so I usually end up going lighter on my right side to accommodate my left side.
Got you. Got you. Yeah, Karen's in a similar spot. She says I have a lot of soreness in my left hip, like psoas, QL, quadratus lumborum area. I've been working on stretching and strengthening, that kind of thing to help even things out. For sure. Yeah. Psoas, I would definitely target like deep psoas pressure. Like if you have like what Allie has something similar. So left, yeah, her left hip as well. So she'll foam roll her left quad. She'll dig the handle of a kettlebell into like her si left side stomach. So she'll like lay on it, lay on the kettlebell handle to give that internal pressure. And then QL stuff, like she'll put her elbow up on the bench, like doing a side plank, pretend you're doing a side plank, but left elbow on the bench and then feet on the floor, and she'll just let gravity just kind of like pull her hip towards the floor to re get that real deep QL stretch. Feels the best, but that's where I get tight too. And I think that's where I've actually gotten injured is probably my QL on the left side for me. Yeah. Taking the time to try out those things is a great way to find out what is actually going to work for you in the long run to stay mobile, stay healthy, so that you keep working out. Yeah. Yeah, it feels great. Yeah, absolutely. Great questions, you guys, and suggestions. This is a great conversation. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. This is what I've been missing for a very long time. So I appreciate you guys popping in here and sharing your thoughts on things. It's a nice reminder to get up and get steps in because sitting down for it will only make it worse. 100%. Sitting, oh man, yeah, sitting is the worst. Definitely when we get into our own space, I really want to look into getting like one of those walking pads. I think there's like no shame in that. There's nothing wrong with having a walking pad if you can even pop one under your desk, and if you have a stand-up desk situation and get steps in while you're walking, man, that sounds like super efficient. I love that. When I see people post about that, I'm like, oh, that's so good. Yeah. Any other questions? Anything else? Anything you guys are thinking about or just like fitness goal related? Anything that I can help you with? I'm lucky my workplace did buy me an adjustable desk. Oh, that's clutch. And a walking pad. Yes. Oh, I love that. Good job, Karen. I love it. Love it. Yeah. So the I mentioned this at the beginning of our call, but let's think about January as a month of just laying the foundation down. Like, let's not expect any crazy results or nothing like wild with us using the habits every day. Let's just really prove to ourselves like we're in control. We can do this. We can drink more water. We can make sure we fuel our bodies. We can get our workouts in. We can get huffing and puffing a little bit. We can get outside and move. We can have the mental bandwidth to create those pauses throughout our day so that we're staying in control, making the time for mindfulness. Whatever outlet works best for you too. Sometimes for me, it's just like a minute before I fall asleep and I'm just like closing my eyes and just like nasal breathing. And that usually does the trick for me too, on most days. That actually like puts me to sleep real quick too. Sleep quality. Emily's all about that. It's so easy to look at a new year and want to like immediately go to 100 and do everything perfect. But yes, you're right. You got to take it one step at a time. Yeah, my buddy Ray says this. Too many people fail because they try to do too much too soon when they've been doing too little for too long. Too much too soon, too little too long. And he's a PT, so he knows about injury, specifically with the CrossFit space. Too many people try to just go 0 to 100, just like Karen's saying, day one. The battle is not won in January. It's not. And let's be real. We all have enough life experience to know that probably the first 4 to 6 months of the year is just like it's just practice. We're just getting the reps in. It's just practice. It's just practice. And then the last half of the year, think about how solid that foundation is going to be. It's going to be rock solid. And you'll be confident. You'll have built up that self-trust and self-belief that you can do what you set out to do because you have all this evidence. Like that James Clear quote, you have all this evidence to back up, all the proof to back up that you're capable of it. Like if if that's the only thing you get from using the healthy habits is just having that self-belief, then I did my job. We won at that point. We're popping bottles at that point because nothing can stop you. Nothing can stop you. People can tell you you can't do it. You can see something or you can compare in the moment. You might see something that someone else has, but the level of confidence that you have to accomplish what you set out you would do, no one can tell you otherwise. That's that silent confidence that's just built up through the reps and through life, right? None of this is happening in a vacuum. When we're drinking water, we still got bills to pay. When we're working out, we got to get back to our kids screaming or whatever, sick kids or, whatever it is. Like life does not stop. We're not living in a bubble here. But when you take the time to make that effort, like I was saying, like you're seeing it through your own eyes. That is undeniable proof that you have what it takes. If you can prove it to yourself 5 times a day with each of the habits and carry that over into every day, every week, every month for the next 6 months, 6 to 12 months, who can tell you otherwise? Nobody. Nobody's telling you nothing. You can do whatever you set your mind to, you know? Yeah. I'm not trying to get all like woo woo like sports coach mode, but I really believe that to my core, you
No, I
know.
do too,
You know, no,
actually.
none
I
of us are that we are not that different. Nobody is different. We're all the same people experiencing life in very similar ways, and we just have to kind of create the proof and make things real enough so that they become actionable. Another quote that I really like is that um, fear lives, what is it? Fear lives in ambiguity. You know, if you crystallize really what it is you want, and then you just work yourself backwards, like they're just very tactical things you just have to do, you know? So we're all capable of it. We're all smart enough. We're all talented enough. We're all capable enough. Yeah, we can all do it. Awesome. Man, I wish you guys were like always like everyone on all the time and I could just like pull out my phone and just be like, I need a little confidence boost right now, or I need a little push to like do the thing. This is awesome. This is awesome. I
I
really
have a
appreciate.
friend
Hmm.
I have a friend that I met in an online fitness group like going on 11 years ago or like many, many years ago. And this guy in New York ran this group on Facebook and he ended up being quite a interesting character. And so the group split up. But me and this one girl, um, we were just like kind of lost without the group and we're like, hey, do you want to keep like sharing our workouts with each other? And so we're like, okay. And I've never talked to her on the phone. I've never heard her voice. I've never met her in person.
Wow.
We have literally been texting our workouts and then other life things as the years have gone by. We just realized when we were texting late last year, like a whole so far long ago. But we've been accountability buddies now for like I would say probably at least 12 plus years. Like
Wow, that's
literally,
incredible.
I've been texting, we just every day, or like if we go like a couple days without texting,
Mhm.
we'll like send a text, hey, just want to let you know I rested this. Like we text whether it's a rest day, whether it's a workout day, like
So good.
and yeah, her name is Dana, and we've been accountability texting buddies for well over a decade, if not longer. Like it's
Wow.
so I mean, if anything, I'm consistent. Like I'm very structured. I'm like, okay, I have like a 4,286 day streak in my Fitness Pal. Like, not that I use it to lose weight, but I just am so used to
Wow.
logging my calories now that I think it's like 4,280 something days. Um, but it helps to have like someone that you can text or talk to, like you said, like I mean, sometimes I feel bad, like I'll send you a message about like my workout, like, and I'm like, oh, I feel like I'm bothering you like during your family time or
Dude.
whatever. But like it helps to just like reach out, like whether
Yeah.
it's a direct message or like just to have someone that you communicate with and
Mhm.
that they're like looking out for your message and you're looking out for
Mhm.
theirs, or it does become a habit and it becomes a good habit because you know that like this is your routine and you're prioritizing some kind of fitness or some kind of so yeah, if you ever need an accountability buddy, let me know. I'll
I
definitely
I
text back.
I love that. And I think you're really narrowing in on something so important and critical is like the way we design our lives, and I'll speak for myself personally, the way I design my life is confirmation of my identity, right? Like who I believe I am. And it's so funny because I have the same thing. I have buddies I used to work with at previous CrossFit gyms. Like we used to be coaches together, but we only text. We only text. And we're like, oh, I just hit like, 315 for like five back squats or whatever. And like they'll reply or we'll send videos to each other, but we never call each other. But we'll always text and we'll just like be like, oh man, don't you love this one lift? How it fit? Like, it's so funny. Like, we just bro out on, texting about working out. But every time I do that, and we have people like that that are good people, obviously you wouldn't have kept in touch with Dana, was it, for this long if they weren't like a good person, someone that you like connect with on that level. And so when we have those types of people around us, it's just confirmation of who we are, right? We're good people. We're trying to live a healthy life. And along the way, if we can help other people, dude, we- we're winning. That's pretty good, right? And I would that's my dream for this community is those types of people to just find each other and just be like we're just like pumping each other up about fitness, about goals, like running a half marathon, go out for a powerlifting meet, or if you want to get into something else, or you want to get into martial arts, or whatever it is that's like a physical activity where training gets you there and our daily habits get us there, and we have a community of support like that without all the other noise. And I think most of you guys know what I'm talking about, but like without all the other noise, and we just focus on the thing that like allows us to live a life that we get just so fired up about. Like, dude, let's just keep doing that.
Yeah. It's really like with my friend Dana, like it's we've gone through, I mean, like we realized how long we had been talking when I mentioned that my middle daughter Ava just turned 13, and she was like, "Oh, we've been texting for 13 years." Because I started talking to her roughly when I was pregnant. And I was like,
Wow.
"Oh, has it been that long?" And then we were like, "Yeah, one of these days we're gonna have to get together," and all that. But it like I've been there, like I know her, she's got a couple grandkids, both her sons are married, countless amounts of injuries, and that's
Mm.
I think what is like one of the things with her too that makes her such a great accountability buddy is like she's a no excuses kind of person. She's a runner. She's how I learned about Hal Higdon's program. Um, but like she's had different injuries. She's had like
Mm-hmm.
surgery back on like her, not her neck specifically, but like she's had surgeries. She's
Mm.
had different things. Um, and what's really helpful interacting with people of that mindset, there have been times where like I've been on the couch, super exhausted. I teach, students are exhausting. They're like a bunch of your own, like a bunch of kids amplified. And she'll like text me that she did a workout after she just had like, hand surgery or
Mm.
any number of excuses not to do something, right? Like, and I'd be sitting on the couch and she'd show me her workout of how she modified it or, that she got something done. And I can't even tell you the number of times that seeing her message about her working out and me like, what the hell's my excuse? Like, get off the couch and go do something, right? And like, there have been many night workouts where even if it's gone and like yesterday, I did the assistance and the finisher only from the workout before. But I think when you have people that show you no excuses,
Mm.
that you become the kind of person that's like no excuses. So
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go do something. Even if it's the other night I was telling you I was super exhausted, but I'm like, I'm gonna go in and get the main lift done. And that's what I did. And it was 11 minutes and I was out. But
Beautiful.
like when you have that, when you begin to develop that mindset and have those kind of people around you, I was like, shit, Dana just got
Mm.
done with hand surgery and here she is still, going for a walk or
Yeah.
rocking or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go in the garage and do something.
Mhm.
And I do something. And she's told me, I don't know if I've been motivated like motivating for her. I hope so. Um, but having those kinds of people, that those moments where you make every excuse not to do something,
Mhm.
and then you hear from that friend or that person, then you're like, yeah, I'm gonna go do something. So
Absolutely.
yeah, anyway, she's awesome. I love her.
I love that. She should be in this group. Get
Uh,
her in
she
here.
she only does she follows a lot of like free YouTube stuff.
Oh,
Like
great. Yeah, yeah.
she likes this one lady named her last name is Gervan, but I can't remember
Hmm.
her first
Okay.
name. But she does like different, like we started with Beachbody workouts. That was
Nice.
what the group was around when we first met.
Yeah.
Was like Insanity. Like that was
Yep.
one of the
Yep.
first programs I did was Insanity.
Yeah.
And then we did like Max this and
Hmm.
um but yeah, she always shares but she primarily looks for like free, YouTube
Love it.
type stuff. But no, and she likes to run. Like
Yeah.
she is someone who, yeah, so but she's awesome. She's always doing something no matter what life throws at her and
I love it.
she's taught me a lot about showing up even when life's hard.
Yeah. No, I love that. And the power of accountability is not something to ignore or to dismiss. I made a post about this once, but like if you have accountability, uh, your chances of being successful is like 65%. And then if you have a goal and people to hold you accountable to that specific goal, it ramps up to like 95%. Like that's
Yeah.
wild. That is a wild
Yeah.
statistic. So if you just find the right people that
Yep.
are on the same path as you with the same goals, same mindset, same kind of support that you would want, it's not a question of if it's going to happen. It's just a matter of time, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. Very good stuff. Awesome, you guys. Great first coaching call. Thank you guys for being here. I know Mondays are so hectic and busy, you know, we're especially coming out of the holidays. I hope you guys all had a wonderful holidays, and I hope you're all fired up to have a really good month. And even for me, like doing this for so long, I feel I'm just like so relieved that I have some sort of structure or a framework for me to look at my day-to-day life with everything going on. My family, we're between two homes right now. This is our bedroom. Like we share this room with the four of us. We share this room, and my at my mother-in-law's, my in-laws, it's the same situation, but we're figuring it out. But I'm just like, if I can get some water in, if I can lift some weights, if if we can get Cameron to fall asleep during our walk, dude, we're cruising. And then I just need to get to the next day. Let me just get to the
Yeah.
next day and we'll figure it out, you know? But I cannot tell you because the last 4 months, if you guys know, for those, I won't get into it, but if you guys know the last like 4-ish months of, um, like my coaching career path, whatever, I couldn't be happier though with the chaos that I'm in right now, and on paper, it might not be ideal for a lot of people, but I'm so much happier. I wouldn't trade this where I'm at right now for where I was like for most of 2025. So I'm just like super stoked to be here and to nurture and to be a part of this community and with you guys. And when I see like your Instagram names pop up, or I see you guys posting in the Facebook group, or like, just little things, just reminders to be like, those are my people right there. Those are my guys, and so I'm just stoked to be here with you all. And it's gonna be a really good month. It's gonna be a great year. Can we just put that out there? Like 2026 is gonna be an awesome year. Let's just put that out there. Exactly. Fingers crossed. Fingers and toes crossed. Even the injured toes, you know?
Even the injured janky toe.
Let's just put it out there.
Oh my
So
gosh.
awesome. Of course, you guys know you know how to reach me. Feel free to add anything to the Habitat Facebook group. Of course, we always have the Five Healthy Habits Facebook group as well, and you can use that to continue to connect with others in our community that are in similar boats because sure enough, you're going to find somebody just like you that are going through the same things. And that's what I hope, at least. And if you find people like that, checking in with your people, making sure we're all good, those are great things to do to keep up with. And of course, if you ever have any questions, you know how to reach me. You know how to reach Nick. I know I haven't officially introduced Nick, but Nick Lara, he's the man behind the beautiful website, behind the PDFs, um, and Nick and I have worked together in 2020. He helped me with DH Fitness early on. So I'm so stoked to be able to reconnect with Nick and to work together. And we speak so highly of this group, and we're really excited for giving you guys everything you need to make 2026 such a winning year for you. So we're pumped. We're pumped to be here. So you know how to reach us. Awesome. All right, guys. Well, have a great rest of your day. Please drink some water. Please move your body. Please eat some protein. All the stuff. All right. And we'll stay connected. Okay. All right. We'll see you all. Have a good one. Bye.